Off the Cuff is supported by Patreon. Join today and become an honorary producer and get in-show credit on every episode. Hi everybody, welcome to Off the Cuff. Hey, you know what that means? That means I'm getting a little too cocky. Yes, and that's just the first of 2 rim shots you can hear in today's show. Of course, what that means is it's time for breakfast. Yeah. Now, I'm not really a gigantic breakfast guy. And by that, what I mean is I don't really go crazy at breakfast. I'll do something simple like a couple of scrambled eggs, a cheese omelet, and if I'm really ambitious, I'll take some eggs, some ham and cheese and make a little sandwich. Occasionally, I'll make something more complicated like pancakes, but that's not very often. Now, this week, or actually a couple weeks ago, I saw this video. Look at that. This is by Drew Cooks on Facebook. He's got a great channel. You should check it out because he's always doing these fantastic and simple recipes. The one issue for me is it's all high carb. On this episode, look at that. Yeah, he's making what he called a French toast bake. Oh, it looks so decadent. I mean, look at that. That looks amazing. And I thought, I can make that, but I can also make it low carb. So I'm going to adjust his recipe a little bit, and I'm going to do it right here. By the way, if you want to follow him, you can follow him on Facebook at Drew Cooks Show, or you can follow him on Instagram at official_Drew_Cooks. Now, I'm also going to be making a family favorite. My mom used to always make my dad corn muffins, and we all loved it. They were homemade to a certain extent. She used the box mix, which is absolutely fine, but of course we're talking about carbs again. So today, I'm going to make a low-carb version of corn muffins. Yeah. Now, I'm adapting this from a recipe I used last year where I made cornbread. You're not going to believe it. It's going to be so good. It's made with almond flour, but you're going to swear it's actual cornbread, yeah. So today's show is all about breakfast. And you know what they say, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it really is, because it kickstarts your metabolism and gives you energy to start your day and to keep going. And so you always got to try to remember to eat something for breakfast, because you never know when someday, somewhere, you might be someplace where you can't have breakfast. Yeah, that's not good. I've seen it happen. Watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard Potluck Air. Today our destination is Cleveland, Ohio, or thereabouts. We'll do the best we can. Our cruising altitude should be 35,000 feet. My altimeter is on the fritz, so I'll give it my best shot.
Oh boy.
One other announcement. Due to unfortunate budgetary constraints, there will be no meal or beverage service on today's flight. And please be considerate of your flight attendant. She's already taken her last Xanax. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Thank you for flying Potluck Air, the Temu of the sky.
Take a discount airline, they said. Fly Potluck, save a bundle. Figures. I knew I should have eaten something before I left. What am I gonna do now? What is that tapping?
Over here,
What? Where?
the seat in front of you. Here I am.
Oh, hey there. I didn't know my seatback screen worked. Do I get movies too?
Just one. Hamburger the movie with Dick Butkus.
Oh, well, let's go with you.
Great. Off the Cuff has an exclusive arrangement with Potluck Air.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they lost my luggage. Twice. So we made a deal. So here I am, free exposure.
Well, I don't know about exposure. There's a total of 3 people on this flight, including myself.
That's 2 more than last flight.
Well, I'm sure it's no reflection of you or your show.
I get it. They do fly on a budget.
Yeah, you're telling me my seatbelt's fastened with Velcro.
Hey, in order to keep on using oxygen masks or drop down, you have to keep on feeding it quarters.
What's your name?
I'm Craig. Off the Cuff is my cooking show.
Where are you now?
This is my kitchen. This is where I filmed the show.
That's your kitchen? I thought my plane was old.
Think about it, a cooking show on an airline. I guess that makes me a frequent fryer.
I hope your food is better than your jokes. Speaking of food, I haven't eaten breakfast, and there is no food on this flight.
You know what I think?
Should have taken a Greyhound.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, I know. I paid for an omelet, but I don't think the airline could afford the eggs.
Hey, I had to pass a credit check last week just to buy a dozen eggs.
Was that a rim shot, or did something just fall from my plane?
Oh, that was a rim shot. I think.
Is my flight attendant wearing a parachute?
No! I'm sure that's just a backpack. Say, what's your name?
Amelia?
Amelia! Like Amelia. So, what's your favorite thing to have at breakfast?
I love French toast.
What a coincidence. On my show today, I'm making a French toast casserole.
What? That sounds amazing!
And I'm also making corn muffins.
Oh, I love corn muffins. French toast, corn muffins. Talk about carb loading.
That's the thing about my show. I make everything low carb so you can enjoy breakfast and not worry about the carbs or water landings.
Great. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Ready! Ready for what?
The French toast casserole. I'm starving.
But
I think I'll have the corn muffin first.
Amelia, my
Don't forget
show,
the sugar-free maple syrup.
my show is instructional.
Instructional?
I just demonstrate the recipes. There's no food actually on the plane.
What? But I'm hungrier than ever now.
Well, feel the seats. Maybe there's a couple of ketchup packets.
Well, the heck with this. I'm putting on Hamburger the Motion Picture.
Here are the ingredients.
Hamburger, the motion picture.
We're here to learn to run a Buster Burger franchise!
Okay, it's time for breakfast. Here are the ingredients. First up for the French toast casserole. 6 eggs, 1 loaf of low-carb bread, any brand of your choice, 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk, 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 cup of melted butter, 1 cup of keto brown sugar, and 1/4 cup of cinnamon. Now for the corn muffins. 2 1/2 cups almond flour, 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/6 of a cup of monk fruit allulose sweetener, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/3 of a cup of melted butter, 1/3 of a cup of unsweetened almond milk, 3 large eggs, and 1/2 tablespoon of corn extract. Okay, so first we start with a loaf of your favorite low-carb bread. Or if you're doing the regular recipe, regular bread, but this is low carb. Yeah, I bet you didn't know I was a loafer. Nope, no rim shot there. Let's go, cut this up. Okay, I made sure my knife was especially sharp. We're just gonna cut the crust off this now. And down like that. Should be fairly easy. Yeah, you want to make, I'm glad this is sharp because if it wasn't, there we go. Now this bread is kind of small already, but I forgot a side, didn't I? Yep, I forgot this side. I'm gonna put that on the plate. Now I'm putting it on the plate right here. You know, I'm gonna try a serrated knife. Maybe that would work better. I mean, that worked fine, but I think serrated is made for more bread and stuff like that. Let's see if this works just a little better. Oh yeah, it does. Serrated knife, that's the way to go. I don't know what to do with the ends, really, the ends of the bread. If you have birds, that's what I do. Birds deserve low carb stuff, I guess. Okay, so that's more. There we are. There we are. Oh, there he is. There we are. Okay. We may need to cut more later, we'll see. But right now, there's our bread for the French toast, and we're gonna put this aside. All right, well, here we have our 1 cup of brown sugar. This is keto brown sugar. And our non-keto, 1/2 cup of butter. Just pour it all in there. And we're gonna make this into a brown sugar butter. I don't know what to call it, sauce, slurry, thingamabob. We call it something. I know what we call it. We call it delicious. Okay. Once you get it all mixed in there, we take our 9x12. I think this is 9x12. We take our pan and we put this in here. All of it. Like that. Oh, look at that. Brown sugar. All right. Very nice. Get it spread out on the bottom. I'm going to take my handy dandy egg beater. And I'm going to beat the eggs up. There we go. Now in goes our 1 cup of almond milk. Next goes our 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Get it all in there. And then our teaspoon, maybe a little bit more of vanilla. And here we go again. Just mix it all up. Okay. Our batter is batted. Okay, now here comes the fun part. And we're going to see if we need to cut more bread. You take your French toast or your bread and you're just going to lay it in a layer down here. Those are the ends. I'm going to save those, oddly enough, for the end. Then we're going to take our batter we just did and we're going to pour over it. There we are. Pour that in. Now you take some cinnamon, or you take all of it in this case, and put it in like that. Now we start again with all over with more bread. And I might have to cut a little bit more because I think this bread is not going to be enough to fill up this whole tray. That's okay. I kind of expected that. This is a small piece. I'm going to put that here. Let's pour more of it in. I don't have to be so gentle this time because I have more. I can just pour it all in. And you're going to mush it down. Mush it down so it gets nice and soaked into that mixture we made. Here we are. There we are. Let's put cinnamon on the top. Okay. Okay, now here's where I'm going to differ from Drew's recipe again. He says to cover this and set it in the refrigerator overnight, which I'm going to do, but he covered his in plastic wrap. I don't have plastic wrap. I have aluminum foil. I looked it up online. They say it's basically the same thing. So you can wrap it in plastic wrap if you want. I'm going to use the foil because I actually have no choice. Okay, in she goes to my well-stocked refrigerator. Down here. Okay, now we wait 24 hours, but you don't have to wait 24 hours to watch Food Facts. Some food historians believe that what we now know as French toast dates all the way back to the 1st century. In the ancient Roman cookbook Apicius, there's a recipe for something called alita docia, which means another sweet dish. And it's very much like our contemporary French toast, except it didn't use eggs. By the 5th century, eggs did get involved. In a dish called pan dulcis, the Romans took bread and they soaked it in a mixture of egg and milk, and then they fried it in oil or butter. Some historians believe the dish came to be in medieval times when European cooks, in an effort to use every bit of food, soaked day-old bread in eggs to add moisture and protein. In 1300, the cookbook La Viande by French chef Guillaume Taillevent introduced a recipe for toasté dorés, which took bread and introduced it to eggs and sugar. In the 14th century, a similar recipe was found in the English cookbook Formé du Curry compiled for Richard II. It was called pain fondue, and it had bread which was soaked in wine and then flavored with raisins, sugar, and spices. Also in the 14th century, there was a German recipe called Arme Ritter, which means poor knights. Now the name is still used today, and the recipe involves soaking bread in milk and egg and pan frying it. The name Arme Ritter is still used in English and Nordic languages. Famed Italian culinary expert Martino da Como, that's Perry Como, that's Mario Como, and that's a comb-over. Thank you. He had a recipe for French toast too. He called it soupe dorada. You could find it in the 15th century cookbook, Libro d'Arte Culinaria. Essentially in Europe, the dish was known by many different names, with many references referring to soup. Now, it's not a soup. It just meant that the dish used liquid, meaning cream, milk, or eggs. In the 15th century, a Spanish dish, tortilla, was made and consumed during Lent and Holy Week. Now, this was first mentioned by composer Juan de la Cena in his 1496 songbook. In 1615, the English cookbook, The English Housewife, had a recipe for the best pan-purdy, French toast. It used milk, but no eggs. So the fact is that French toast was not invented in France, but they do have the dish. It's called pain perdu, which means lost bread. It's also called pain doré, or golden bread, in Canada. According to legend, French toast was invented by New York innkeeper Joseph French in 1724. Now, it's called French toast because he forgot the apostrophe. Seems legit. Actually, it's been dismissed as a myth. Why? Because the dish was known as French toast in England long before it made it to the colonies. Oh, Joseph French. French toast has many names all over the world. Here's a few. Bombay toast. First off, this is savory. It's made with a spicy egg mixture and green chilies. Also chopped onions, cumin, coriander, and turmeric. Then there's Spanish toast, or tortillas. We mentioned this before. This is soaked in milk and orange, then dipped in egg. It's very popular at Easter time. Nun's toast. It's made with pastry dough and also brown sugar, butter, and cinnamon. Then there's gypsy toast. Now this is the UK version of French toast. The difference is it's just less sweeter. Eggy bread. This is the British version of French toast, only it's savory. It's served with a brown sauce and ketchup. For breakfast? German toast. Now this is essentially the same as French toast, but its name fell out of favor after World War I. And now it's time for French toast trivia. November 28th is National French Toast Day. In medieval Europe, the dish was called poor knight's pudding. We mentioned that before. Arme Ritter? I wonder. In Scotland, it's served with 2 sausages and it's eaten like a sandwich. I think McDonald's stole that. In Hong Kong, French toast is layered with peanut butter. Now you're talking my language. I'd eat a gym shoe if it had peanut butter on it. In Brazil, rabanandas are served at Christmas time. They also call them Christmas cakes. In Louisiana, Creole-style French toast is commonly drizzled with alcohol. Vegan French toast is made with bananas. In 2003, the U.S. government called for the name to be changed to Freedom Toast because of a disagreement with France. The name didn't stick. And finally, the French finally conceded who actually invented French toast. The original name for French toast was pain à la romaine. Roman toast. Yeah, there you go. Mystery solved. And that's Food Facts. Okay, it's 24 hours later. The French toast casserole is still in the refrigerator. I'm going to leave it there for now because I'm going to make the corn muffins first, bake them, and then I'll do the French toast casserole so it's hot when we try it. Smart? Yeah, I think so. Let's make these corn muffins. Okay, first we put in our almond flour. That goes in. The baking powder. That goes in here. the sea salt. And this is the monk fruit allulose sugar. Now we're just going to combine all that before we get to our wet stuff. This is really not a hard recipe, actually. This is very, very easy. Pour in the egg. The egg is in. Now we're going to pour in the almond milk. The melted butter. And this is the essence of corn. This is the corn extract. That's really good. You don't have to use a lot of it either. Yeah, better, swing better. Yep, this is going to be just right. Our muffin pan, let's be optimistic. Let's go with 6. I might need more, actually I might need more. I'm gonna go with 9. Okay. I'm gonna spoon these into the cups, one at a time. That was 1. I'm trying not to be super messy because that is my default. To be messy. All right, there goes 2. I might get the whole tray here. I might get a whole tray of muffins. These are not super big. There we go. I made a mess. Instantly made a mess. There you go. Yep, so I'm gonna get 8 out of them. I said 6 to 8. And the 8th one's gonna be kind of skimpy, I think. Unless I can get more out of here. I'll be all right. You're gonna get 8 muffins out of here. All right, we're now gonna put this into the oven. Okay, into the preheated 400-degree oven. Like I said, the instructions say 35 to 40 minutes. I'm gonna check it at 20 or 25. Okay, the corn muffins are done. Now we put the French Toast Casserole in here once this heats down to 350 degrees. There you go. Now this is going to be for 35 to 45 minutes. My oven runs a little fast, so I'm going to check it at 25, uncover it, and let it brown and caramelize. Yum. Can't wait. Okay, ready for the big reveal. Ooh, baby. There we go. I want to make sure I get all of this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. We have French Toast Casserole. All right, now it's time for breakfast. Man, I have been drooling for this ever since I saw Drew do it on his show, and this looks just as good. I just want to point out, here's one of the muffins. Can you see that? See here? This is the bottom. This is the top side of the bottom. Look at the bottom. It has all that caramelized brown sugar and butter. Oh boy, does that look good. And I'll put that back up here. And you can hear with the fork, let's see. It's crispy. I cannot wait. As much as I want to wait to taste the French toast, I'm going to taste the corn muffin first. Now, the reason why it's dark is because allulose caramelizes faster than regular sugar, even when it's mixed with monk fruit. Now, this is fine, but I did notice the bottom is a little dark. So even though I did it for 20 minutes, this is a little overdone. So if you're doing it, watch your time. I should have really pulled this off in 15 minutes or 16 minutes. But either way, I bet you it's going to be great. Let me try it. It's cornbread. It tastes just like my mom's cornbread. It does. Like when she made the muffins, it tastes just like it. Look at the inside. Look at the inside. Soft, fluffy, corny, just like me. Oh. I wanted to taste it plain. It's great. Put some butter on this. Heaven, sheer heaven. My mom would be proud. And what I was gonna do, but these muffins are actually too small, I was gonna put jelly in the middle. My mom used to do that too. You can do that. Just fill up half the batter, put jelly, and put it on top. You have jelly in the middle, no problem. Now let's try the French toast. The French Toast Casserole. Oh, and this is still warm. It hasn't been out of the oven for more than 20 minutes. Let's take a, oh man, look at that. Look. Now I'm gonna try it. Here we go. Good Lord. You don't need syrup. You don't need powdered sugar. You can do all that. It's sweet. It's decadent. It's crusty on the outside. It's mushy on the inside. It's so perfect. Here we go again. Oh, it just explodes with flavor. You can taste the cinnamon. Oh my gosh. It tastes like real sugar. It tastes so decadent. It's very, very rich. Again, I say this a lot. If I didn't tell you, you would not know that this is low carb bread and that this is sugar free. You would not be able to tell. It's amazing. Oh, good night, nurse. Another winner. This I will be making a lot. Oh my goodness. And that's it for this time around. I'm here again in another 2 weeks with yet another recipe. Until then, be well, eat good.